Wouldn't it be super duper if you passed out W-2s and that was the end of the story for the year? My name is Christina Hageny, president of Valor Payroll Solutions, and we focus on helping small business owners with their payroll. So now that W-2s have been passed out, you are probably getting a ton of questions from employees. And one of the main ones that we are asked is why the amounts on the W-2 are not equal to the amounts that the employee is seeing on his or her paycheck. And the answer is it depends. There are instances where there is an actual error where something was not reported correctly or a system did something wonky, but more often it is because of Section 125 or pre-tax deductions and retirement contributions or some combination of the two. This will also cause, if there's retirement contributions, the wages in box 1 to be different than the wages in boxes 3 and 5. In this video, we'll walk you through a couple of the most common things that we see with variances between the W-2 and the employee's paycheck. Feel free to share this with your employees if you find it helpful. If you have questions or something specific in mind that you'd like us to talk more about, drop it below and we'd be happy to put together a video for you. Let's take a couple minutes, see what we're talking about, and let us know your thoughts.
So now that W-2s are out, you may get questions from employees about why numbers aren't matching their pay stub. So we have an example here, our good friend, Mr. Stanley Cup. And last year he made $34,743.66 before taxes. He also contributed $600 to a 401k plan and $600 to a Section 125 plan for medical. Now, if we look at his W-2, again, $34,743.66 is what he made. But on his W-2, that is not matching any of the numbers that we see here. So let's walk through these one by one. First, you'll notice that the wages in box 1, which are federal taxable wages, do not match the wages in boxes 3 and 5, which are Social Security and Medicare wages. And then none of these boxes match that $34,743.66. But here's why. So on the W-2 in box 1, again, these are federal taxable wages. So if an employee contributes to a retirement plan on a pre-tax basis, so this wouldn't be the case for Roth contributions, but if they are contributing to a simple IRA or a 401k pre-tax, then that amount that they contributed will reduce their federal taxable wage. And we have that reported here. So this code D for $600, this is reporting that $600 401k contribution. Then in boxes 3 and 5, the contribution to the retirement plan is not subject to federal income tax, but it is still subject to Social Security and Medicare tax. So the difference between box 1 and boxes 3 and 5 is $600, which is because of this retirement plan. Now in box 1, the difference between this and his pay for the year, $34,743.66, is $1,200. And that's because the Section 125 deductions are not subject to federal income tax or Social Security or Medicare tax. And the 401k is not subject to federal income tax. So to get box 1, we would take the $34,743.66 and subtract the $1,200. And that's how we get $33,543.66. Now for boxes 3 and 5, it would be $34,743.66, but only minus $600, both are $600, but only minus $600 for the medical, the Section 125 plan, because again, the retirement is subject to Social Security and Medicare. So again, the wage amounts in boxes 1, 3, and 5 are for federal taxable wages, Social Security wages, and then Medicare wages. And those amounts may be different depending on what deductions the employee had. Down here, this is where we see that Med 125 reported. This employee had some New York and New Jersey, so they had some miscellaneous taxes, and that's what these other numbers are. But generally speaking, any Section 125 deductions should be reported in box 14. You would take your gross taxable wage and subtract out all Section 125 deductions, and that would be 3 and 5. And then in box 1, again, that will be minus Section 125 deductions and any retirement that was done pre-tax. So again, this would not include Roth. Roth would still be subject to all taxes. Now, there are many other things that can affect the W-2 reporting and create variances between what an employee may see on their paycheck and what they see on their W-2. But usually it's just a little bit of a math equation to figure out, where the variance is and to double check that everything is accurate. But again, if you see different amounts in box 1 from 3 and 5, and you have a retirement plan, that should be expected. And it's not uncommon for these amounts to not match what was on the check if there are any pre-tax or retirement contributions. So, if you have questions about your W-2, or if you're an employer and are getting questions from your employees that you are not able to help with, feel free to drop your comments below or reach out with your questions. You can always find us online at valorpayrollsolutions.com.